I'm going to go to sleep, but I watched a little bit of the beginning of the coronation, and I'm going to get a reading on how Charles is feeling right now. He's got a lot of thoughts going on in his mind. He feels like his heart feels very full, like this moment has finally come, but he's very overwhelmed on all of the people and the tasks around him. He's very overwhelmed with what he has to do. And he is somebody who's like, I've got to hold on. I've got to, live as long as I can to do what I need to do. He does feel a little bit unsure and uncertain because the state of the country, they've been trying in the UK. The Republicans in the UK have been trying to get him out, but he has the support of William. He has the support within himself. He's had a long time to prepare for this, but at the same time, he feels like he's in a torn country. Like the Queen was so popular, people wouldn't dare do that to her as much. They, of course, had a little bit against the crown when she was Queen, but not nearly as much as came out when it was Charles's turn. Not only that, but the crown always becomes more vulnerable every time they switch monarchs. And so he feels like he's in an unsettled time, and that just dinged. So maybe that's a, a recognition that it's vulnerable right now when they switch monarchs. And he is thinking a little bit about how he's going to appear because people are upset about Diana still. Some people, I'm not. I think that's ridiculous that people are bringing up a woman who died 20, 30 years ago. I mean, Camilla was always his first love. Really, his parents should have never made him marry Diana. It's really on his parents, and I believe Mountbatten is the one who influenced. I researched my British and royal history. Mountbatten and his parents are really to blame in this. But he's looking for the support of Camilla on one Queen of Cups because she's a Cancer, and he's also thinking of the Queen of Cups of the past, Diana. And if people, still are mad at him for that, he's worried about that. He has a lot of worries, although his heart feels very full, like finally I'm going to get to do some of the things I wanted. Because, everybody has a good and bad side to them, and one of his best sides is that he's a champion for animals. He's very compassionate to environment and animals. Some could argue, well, he's affiliated with Schwab, with the great RESET, so that's not so good if you know about the global agenda. But on the other hand, he does have good qualities, and he is ready to, go take more initiative with certain things he feels passionate about, especially with the animals, environments, different religions and cultures. But he feels conflicted at this time in his life at the same time. How is Harry feeling? The little traitor. How is the ginger whiner feeling? The lovely ginger with, I'm not even going to be so mean and stoop to the level where he called his brother balding. Well, it's like your brother can pull off being bald 20 times over where you could pull it off. Out of the two of them, William is clearly the better looking one. Kate's the one who got the better deal. So let's just be real. William can be bald and he'll still look better than you, Harry. You could make fun of him being bald in your book all you want. How is Harry feeling after he came in on a private jet and then goes and preaches to people about global warming? Meanwhile, Catherine and William find it in them to take commercial flights. He feels defensive and he feels like he's on his guard. Everybody's on their guard with you, Harry, because they don't trust you. Yeah, this is to the King of Pentacles, this message. He's coming up. He feels very much on his guard, and he feels worried, and he wishes that Meghan was by his side to claw onto his arm, to dig her little nails into. And he's like, oh, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to look strong for my wife, blah, blah, blah. It almost nauseates me even reading on them. But this day is about the King of Cups, and the heavy burden that he has, Charles now has with the crown. It's not all fun and games. I mean, they do live a privileged life, but they're in a fishbowl, basically. And, it's a microscope he's under to even keep the lineage because the crown is vulnerable right now. And he feels that animosity and anger, that devil energy. He also feels it with Harry. He wants to show that he's going to be benevolent and giving, and he wants people to be rest assured and know that he's going to make practical decisions. He's not going to be foolish or silly with his decisions. And how is the overall day going to go with Harry around the family? So it looks like it is going to be frustrating for people to be around him and to even look at him. They want to keep everything solid and stable for Charles. And they just want this to be a positive new beginning. During Taurus season, the Empress, the Emperor energy comments on Taurus season, which is when this coronation is. And I don't think that's an accident. By the way, dates are chosen, especially by the elites and the royals, for numerological, astrological, and occult reasons, because they are into the spiritual occult. So when people say stupid shit like, oh, they put the coronation on Archie's birthday, it's not because it's Archie's birthday. Meghan's not that important. I don't know why people think they're doing it because of Meghan. The reason I think they put this on this date is it aligns astrologically with symbolic meaning and numerology with very symbolic meaning. Today is a 9 day. If you add up all of the digits in the date today, it's number 9. Number 9 in astrology means and numerology means endings and new beginnings. Isn't it fitting that the Elizabeth II age is over and the Charles reign begins, which will be much shorter than the Elizabethan II age, because we had the original Elizabeth I age many, many years before that. There's a reason they chose this date. It adds up to the number 9 in numerology, the ending of one age and the beginning of another. And remember, with Charles's affiliation with the GREATRESET, that also might have some reference in the occult to that. When you look at this and how it ties into the world and the global agenda, it makes perfect sense why they chose this date for the coronation for Charles. And another reason also why, if you look at other symbolic meanings that I talk about on Patreon, why William was born around midsummer, why William is holding a lamb in certain pictures and the cloved foot. I mean, they do things for occult symbolism. They are deeply entrenched in it. When you start to observe why they're doing things, why they choose certain dates, even if you look at the original Elizabeth coronation, where she had I think it was a pre-ceremony in the woods, and she was wearing all white, like very druid looking, which is tied to the ancient spiritual practices of the United Kingdom. It's not just surface level like some people would think. So this king, he wants to do the best he can. I mean, in certain things he will do well, and he'll bring justice to certain groups and certain people and animals, and trust his intuition with certain things. But at the same time, this is the destruction of one age and the beginning of another age, with all the good and the bad that goes with it. And we are swiftly moving in that direction. And it is one of the biggest features of this coming age is this is not a coincidence that the destruction of our monetary system is happening right now. Because even though people say on the surface level that, oh, kings and queens, especially in Great Britain, they don't really have much power. Well, that's what they tell you. That doesn't mean that covertly that doesn't happen. And also what they represent globally for the world. Because again, as I said, he's associated with Schwab, with the great RESET. And so some covert things going on with that and the global reset agenda and what's happening with the monetary system signals a new age. Hence why they chose this date in May that numerologically adds to the number 9. Endings, closings of chapters, and new beginnings. Because it is the dawning of a new age, and it is the dawning of the GREATRESET and Charles's reign. And it is a big change, Hierophant, having to do with that. So on the 6th day, 2023 adds to the number 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. Okay? And then add that to the number 5, the 5th month of May. That's 18. Break it down to a single digit number. This is how you do numerology. 1 plus 8 equals 9. All of these stupid Meghan supporters, they're so narcissistic. It just goes to show their level of pea-brained, two-brain cell thinking, that they think it's so elementary that Charles would choose his coronation date around some stupid American woman who tried to destroy his family. It has nothing to do with her. They chose this date because it has symbolic meaning in the occult and with numerology and astrology. It is in the time period of Taurus. There's a reason why they do it around this time. Taurus represents rebirth. It represents fertility. It represents growth. Again, the rebirth of a new age, the dawning of a new age. Number 9, the numerology date. Endings, chapters closing, and new beginnings. They do not do things just because of some American woman. They do things because it has a deep spiritual symbolic meaning. So the good with the bad, this is the marker of a new age, and we are going towards it. And as we see things escalate with each milestone, including this coronation, you'll start to see things in the agenda in the global reset escalate after this. That's what you need to watch out for. It's not stupid American woman who likes to whine and complain and say stuff about, oh, they're so mean to me. I mean, all she is a distraction, quite frankly. And all she does is take people away from focusing on the truth. And all she does is virtue signal and try to act like she's the pathetic victim who has millions of dollars. You know, there's more reasons than one why I can't stand her and her stupid husband. It's not just because I don't like people who always act like the victim. Lord knows I've been through a lot in my life, and I don't sit around playing the victim card all the time. It's not really because of that. The main reason I can't stand them is they detract from the real symbolic meanings of things that we have to pay attention to in the world. This kind of I'm a victim, everybody's mean to me, unconscious bias bullshit and cultural appropriation bullshit detracts from the things that are really important, the things that everybody needs to pay attention to. And make no mistake, this marker on the 9 numerology day, the number 9 in numerology in the season of Taurus is for a reason. It's the unfolding of a chapter, the escalation of the dawn of a new day and a new beginning in a good way for the environment and animals, but not such a great way with other agendas for the GREATRESET. Thank you so much for watching. Bright blessings, and the king is king. So the world will be watching, and I will do a reading later. Bye-bye.